G'day everyone, it's Dr. Colin here, and this is a bit of an unusual one. I'm going to do a little bit of a tutorial for you guys today. So basically this is the Rockstar Editor that you will find in GTA 5. What this basically does is it records your gameplay, and you can go back and edit it into a video of some description. So what I'm going to go through with you in this particular video is just a few examples of basic editing techniques, how to make your shots, good ideas on how to put shots together, and how to do little pans and zooms and things like that. So this is your basic Rockstar Editor screen before you go and make a project. I've got some stuff here that I've pre-recorded so that I can edit it for you. So let's go and create a new project. Which is up here. Okay, now let's go through some clips. You can sort by any number of things, date, name, etc. I'm just going to go by date because I recorded it today, and this is the one that I thought was the best for us to edit with. It's got lots of setups and people and stuff in it, so it gives us a lot to work with. So we can see here the display screen, which will show you the first frame of your clip. There's also your timeline, so you can see what you've got, and the time code, which tells you where in the film that you've actually got your clip. So let's go in and have a look at the actual clip. Okay, so here's your basic layout. You've got your actual clip there. You've got your time stripped down there, which has little bits on either end that at the beginning and the end, play, space, cycle of the brackets, which will take you from the start to the end, resets like undo, delete, and so on and so forth. Up here's your Rockstar Editor menu. Now, you've got lots of things you can do here. I'm not going to go through all of them today. I'm just going to focus on camera stuff today. But later on I might go back and teach you a few things about stuff like depth of field, which is focus, so you can have something in the foreground which is in focus, or having the background out of focus at the same time, or vice versa. This one we can create different filters and things. Audio, you can change music and sound effects and stuff, which we won't be doing here. Speed, which is where you can make it go fast forward or slow motion, and yeah, just a few other technical bits and pieces which we don't need to go into right now. So let's go into cameras. Well, okay, so as you can see, there's lots of different camera options. You're going to start with the game camera. Now this is what you'll see when you're actually playing the game. This is sort of the default setting, and if for whatever reason the camera setting that you've given it doesn't work properly, it'll go back to this. So this is our normal gameplay video.
You look like you need a dance to unwind. Coming? What the hell? Fine.
So as you can see, nothing too sophisticated, just something basic, character moving around an environment, interacting with NPCs. Easy. So let's go back to the start, and we're going to change the camera angle, because when you start a sequence, you always need to have an establishing shot, so you can get the audience to know where they're situated, and usually it helps if you can establish your character within that environment as well. So click on that first bit, and we go to cameras, and what we're going to do is have a look at what we've got in here. So this is your normal game camera. Your free camera is going to take you wherever you want to go. We will be able to move that around later. Preset front will stay in front of your character. Wherever you go, you'll be sitting at the front. Same with this one, you'll be stuck behind, you'll be stuck to the right, or you'll be stuck to the left or overhead, if you want to have that classic GTA style thing, minus the Elvises. But we're going to go with the free camera because that gives us a bit more to play with. So So let's edit camera. Now you can see here that there's this little bracket thing around. That shows you where the main part of what you're looking at is. This square in the middle is the middle of your shot, and this circle is the rotation. So you can move the camera using WSAD like you can, so forward, back, side to side. To rotate, you click with the left mouse and you drag. To go up and down, you need E and you need Q. To zoom in, you need C. To zoom out, you need Z, or Z if you're American. You can roll the camera using the arrow keys, left and right, and just try and even that one out if you can. It's a little bit crooked still, but anyway, we're going to move the camera over here because we want an establishing shot of the venue. Straighten it up there. So, you know, we want to get that sign kind of central, but we don't want to get that guy right in the middle of the N. Or, there we go. Yeah, that's much better. So he's just outside. We've got our logo there. We've got reasonably good natural framing, and we've got our protagonist.
Getting douche chills here.
Don't need to have a long shot, just enough to establish what we're looking at. So if you press M, it'll give you a new marker, and that will enable you to make another camera movement. So now we want to establish, we've got these two characters here. Now I think we want to establish a relationship between our protagonist and the barmaid, which is probably the sexist way of doing it, but we want to focus on him to start off with because we've already seen him. We want to know what he's up to. So this is a reasonably good layout. There we go, he's looking around. And he walks off. So let's establish the relationship by focusing on who he was talking to, which is her. Again, doesn't need to be a long shot, just needs to be enough for us to register who she is. So we've got another shot. We want to see where he's getting off to. So he's going around the corner here. We want to have a nice shot. Again, static, because a static shot is easy for an audience to read as they're being introduced. So let's see what happens if we just sort of have it there. Simple. So he goes out of the shot. So now we need to establish the new location. So as you can see here, lots of people, lots of interesting things to look at. I think if we go around here, we should be able to get as much of that in as possible. Alright, so as you can see, this archway actually is really handy because it creates a sort of natural frame in of itself. We've got the pole here, and we've got the archway here. And if we adjust it down a little bit, it sort of evens it out. There we go. Alright, so what we really want to do is use the environment to create a frame within which our audience can focus on what's going on, so they'll know what they need to be looking at the same time as establishing the new environment. Okay, so she's just about to talk. Let's see, should we go just before or just after? Let's zoom in just before she talks. Okay, so again, we're going to use the environment to create a natural frame. Nice straight edge there, very handy. And we're using our two characters to fill out the sides of the frame. Easy geometry. And because she's going to be walking from left to right, it means that the audience will be able to read what's going on, because Western audiences read from left to right.
You look like you need a dance to unwind.
Alright. Pretty good so far, right? Now we want to get our protagonist's reaction to the proposition. Let's get a nice shot where he's central. Focusing on the knot of his tie is a good one, because he's in the middle of the shot, and she creates a kind of focus as well, because again, we're reading from the left to the right. Easy enough.
Coming? What the hell?
Alright, so again, just keeping it short and sweet, but I think we need to put something there so we can see her reaction. Just move the camera around a little bit and zoom out so that we can get a decent view of the reaction.
Fine.
Short edits are always good. A scene should flow like a piece of conversation. Now we want to see where he's off to. There you go. Easy. So you don't need to know where he goes to next. We just established where he is and what he's doing. So let's have a look and see how it all flows together now.
Getting douche chills here.
You look like you need a dance to unwind. Coming? What the hell? Fine.
Alright, it's pretty good so far, but they're just static camera moves that there's nothing dynamic going on. And even though it flows really well, it's still not capturing everything that I want it to capture. So let's see if there's anything else we can do. So the first sort of 4 shots are actually pretty good just being static, because we don't want to do anything much. We just want an audience to sort of establish where they are. But once we get here, we've established who the main character is in the general environment, so we can get a little bit more complicated. So let's say that we want to zoom in on that particular moment. Now this is where the blend mode comes into play. Now the blend mode has 2 different versions, which is linear and smooth. Linear usually moves another fast and direct route to get from point A to point B in your footage, and it will look something like this.
You look like you need a dance to unwind.
So as you can see, it flows really well. We'll have a look at what smooth looks like. Now smooth usually eases in a lot more. It's a lot smoother and slower. There you go.
You look like you need a dance to unwind.
So it wasn't a huge difference, but it was enough that it allowed the audience to sort of slightly take in what they're looking at a bit easier.
You look like you need a dance to
We'll
unwind.
go with that one. So it makes it a lot more visually interesting, and it takes us from where we've established right into the action. As we can see, there's a smooth trajectory across the room.
You look like you need a dance to unwind. Coming? What the hell?
Now, see, that cut's a little bit jarring because we want to be able to see his action and we want to see her reaction. But we can't do that with just a cut. So we need to be able to swing the camera around, which is called a pan. So if we create a marker just before her reaction and we go down to blend mode, let's try linear, see if it works well.
What the hell? Fine.
There we go. So it's following her action. I don't know if smooth will do any different.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's much
Fine.
of a muchness there. But it makes it that much more punchy to be able to sort of keep an eye on what's going on. So let's see how it all flows together.
Getting douche chills here.
You look like you need a dance to unwind. Coming? What the hell? Fine.
Yeah, much better, much better. So the good thing about this now is that you can export it, you can do whatever you want to it. Now, I don't add my music to the clips in Rockstar Editor. I always do that in my other editing software, just because it gives me more access to music that I want, and you can do other stuff with it. But what I'm going to do now, and I'll do this after I've recorded, I'll put this in my editing software, and then I'll add some music and stuff to it. But while I'm here, look at target is where you have the camera static, but it pans to move with a particular character or NPC on the screen. And move with target is the same thing. It locks onto a particular character or NPC on screen and it moves with them. Again, it's got to be within a particular range, and if you're with an NPC or someone, they need to be within range of the player, because there's a certain radius where it doesn't record. It doesn't have the memory to be able to record everything, so keep it simple. We don't really want to do any of those things now, but they come in handy if you are in like a chase sequence or something like that. The mount types, flexible and rigid, they're pretty good for action. Again, flexible will help you to move around a moving target, whereas rigid will hold it in place like a GoPro. So I might do some videos on them later on, but if you found this helpful, let us know, give us a thumbs up. If there's something else that you'd like us to demonstrate, let us know in the comments. We'll probably do another tutorial video for Rockstar Editor later on, but this has just been sort of an introduction to some of the basics of the mechanics of the Rockstar Editor as I've used it in making the videos. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe so you can see when we put more up, and check out our other videos so you can see some of the stuff that we've been doing prior to this. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Getting douche chills here.
You look like you need a dance to unwind. Coming?
What the hell? Fine.